Hello, YouTube. All right, so some heavy energy out there in the collective, and a lot of it is probably the shadow of this full moon in Leo we just had yesterday. But it's kind of producing these really tender feelings. I feel that a lot of old childhood wounding, old past life wounding, a lot of this stuff is coming up right now to be purged and felt and healed by the collective of spiritual workers, light workers, enlightened ones, those of us kind of on this path of ascension. So it's heavy. So the message from the guides today and the Akashic records is be kind to yourself, be gentle, create space to allow these emotions to come through and be felt. Be tender with others. If you are interacting with others right now, a lot of us aren't. A lot of us are in complete isolation. But just kind of that mothering energy is available to us right now to mother and nurture ourselves in the way that we want to be kind of held, in the way that we've always wanted to be nurtured and mothered. And also I would like to say with that the eternal mother to all of us here on Gaia, is Mother Earth. So just connecting in nature, even in the simplest, easiest way, going outside. If you have sun where you are, feeling a bit of the sun on your skin. Maybe you don't have sun. Maybe it's raining where you are, feeling that, like standing in the rain for a couple minutes. Maybe, walking barefoot in the grass outside in your yard for a moment. Whatever it is, just connecting with Mother, because that will really make you feel grounded and held, like only Mother Earth can. Another message that came through, and we're gonna do a card pull today for the Twin Flame Collective, so I'm gonna get to the cards, but we're not there yet. One of the other messages that's been coming through a lot for these light workers, or I will say, I've been in communion with a lot of other light workers and friends, and it feels like there's been a lot of pain, a lot of tragedy, a lot of physical, earthly attachments being taken away. And that can look like friendships, relationships, our counterparts, our twin flames, money, jobs, anything that we really were attached to having in this physical world. The video that I did yesterday that was it was a channeled message for the collective around this space between the manifesting something from the 5D and the higher dimensions and pulling it down to the 3D, and how there is this lag time, there's this space, it's kind of like the void, and that's where creation comes from, is this emptiness, this void energy. But what happens is when we're down in the 3D and we're not seeing any physical proof of this manifestation or this thing we're calling to us, we can give up. That's when we can lose faith. That's when we can just abandon, abort the mission. This doesn't work anyways. I've been duped. This doesn't work. And so I feel that the lesson that's coming through for so many of us is really important things are being taken away. Things that we depended on, things that we really thought we needed in the 3D. A lot of souls are leaving this earth and they're crossing over. And there's many reasons for that. A lot of souls have contracts where they're actually recognizing, what's going on here. I'm going to be in service. I'm going to be able to help and serve the collective from the other side much better than I could from Earth. So that's happening. These very highly evolved old souls are crossing over. We also have a lot of souls that are deciding they don't want to move into the 5D and they're ready to go find somewhere else where they can kind of stay in the density of the 3D or in the 4D. So they're crossing over. So a lot of things just leaving this reality of where we are right now, just leaving. And then we're being asked to deal with that. And what's happening from that space of the loss is it's an opportunity for deeper and deeper faith, deeper and deeper trust in the unseen, in the unknown. Just because I can't see something doesn't mean it's not there. Those of us on this twin flame journey, just because I am in physical 3D separation with my twin, it does not mean this connection is not so very real and so very true and present in my experience as a soul, as a human, and beyond. It's still very, very real. And so these things being stripped from us, being taken away, are allowing us to go deeper and deeper into our trust and faith in the higher power, in the higher realms, into our guides, into spirit. Being able to say, just because I can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. If you have had somebody pass over, maybe it's a pet, maybe it's a beloved pet, there's an opportunity to connect with the other side through that. There's an opportunity. I guarantee you, your loved ones, your furry friend loved ones as well, are there. They're not far. They're just in another dimension. And we're strengthening our connection with the 5D. We're strengthening our connection with the beyond. So it's really important to not get stuck in this heavy density around, I can't see it, so it must not exist. It must not be there. And it's like, no, it's there. And we're being asked to kind of strengthen that. So yeah, I hope that resonates or at least makes sense in wherever you're at on your journey and whatever you're experiencing. Because this deep faith and this deep trust in the unseen and the unknown is ascending us into the 5D. It's bringing it closer. Us brave, sort of courageous souls, old souls that are contracted to be the way showers and to be the light workers at this time. We have agreed to go through some of these experiences so that we can pull this energy down here to Gaia, into this 3D density, so we can hold the light, so we can hold this new vision, this new earth, this new energy of like bringing the 5D and merging it with where we are now. And that all starts with faith and trust. So, all right, let's dive into the cards. I'm being called, let's see, we'll go with these first. And what we're going to check in with is, I want to start with the heart space of both the divine feminine and divine masculine, just to kind of check in, because this full moon, it's been pretty tender, pretty emotional, and it feels like, Leo energy, highly emotional, not always, it's not always like that heavy emotion that we might experience with like a water sign. It's not always that like dense, we're just really dropped in. Leo, it's kind of like that, spark of emotion, that fire. It's fire, right? So it's like a quick emotion. So the opportunity is available for us to have a very, very quick purging of that emotion. So that past life stuff that I was speaking to, the old wounds, the inner child stuff that's coming up right now, it could really be quick. Meaning, like, for example, I personally have had experiences of just going about my day, doing my work, and all of a sudden some deep pain comes through, and before I know it, I'm full on crying. But then within, I kid you not, about like 3 minutes, it's gone. And I'm able to move into my next activity super joyfully, super unattached and free. So that's kind of interesting, especially, if you are a very water heavy emotional person. It's really bizarre. It's a bizarre experience to be able to like feel so deeply and then be moving on to the next. It feels kind of crazy, but it's actually our natural state. We're just so not used to that because we get stuck in the density of it. Density has been a really fun favorite word of mine lately. Beautiful. Okay, so this is, to be honest with you, this is not what I was expecting to come up. You know what? I'm actually going to not take any more cards, but I'm going to clarify some of these. So can you clarify the 3 of Pentacles, please? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, we'll just start. So in the emotion space, we have this Three of Pentacles, which in this deck is the Three of Materials. And when I clarified it, we got the Nine of Pentacles. So with this, and this is for the Divine Feminine, and the heart space, the emotion space, I'm feeling that there's this deep desire to collaborate. There's this deep desire for reciprocity, connecting with soul family, connecting with like-minded people, whether that's your twin, whether that's friendships, soul families, people out there in the world, and also feeling this wanting to get to this place of absolute, sorry for the glare, celebration and exuberance for all the hard work that we've been doing in the 3D and wanting to share that with somebody. So there's almost a loneliness present in this, because this is like the heart space desire. But then the other cards that we have that came out is the High Priestess. So connecting really deeply with spirit, with mysticism, really working our magic, working our tools. But it's a lonely journey because we have the Hermit here. So it's a lonely process. It's, you know, we're desiring this collaboration and teamwork. We want to do this with someone else, our twin, you know. But Spirit is saying, not yet. Not yet. Process this. Whatever's coming up right now, it's a gift. It's gold, and it's for you to process in this beautiful sort of protected kind of cocoon-like. I'm hearing the word cocoon. Create a safe cocoon for yourself. And then we have the Temperance card, and this is a beautiful energy. You know, three major arcana is coming up for the Divine Feminine in the heart space. So we're really working through some big energies. And with the Temperance, it's all about harmony. It's all about coming into balance, coming into this very even-keeled space. It's a card of trust. It's a card of surrender. It's also a card of knowing, especially when it shows up with the High Priestess. The Divine Feminines have done so much work this year, well, this new year, but last year and beyond, around this connection with their higher power, with Source. So much work has been done, and it's really showing up in this beautiful way. I'm going to have to fix my light situation because I definitely have a glare happening. And these are such beautiful cards. I'd love for you to see them. I see a lot of people with this deck. So that's a really, really beautiful energy for the Divine Feminine. And I feel that we're really, really in this trust fall with Spirit and the universe of really allowing what comes up right now to be a sacred process of purging and letting go. If it's coming up right now, it's meant to, and you're working with it. You have your divine team and your guides on your side. There's no real kind of fear around that. All right, so let's check in with the Divine Masculine's heart space and see what's coming up. These are some interesting cards. It's so funny. You can always have this expectation that you might see similar cards. Anything else for that? I'm not going to take those because they did not flip over. Okay. So interesting. Again, some big major arcana. So the first one that came out is the King of Wands. In this deck, it's called the Muse of Inspiration, because the kings are all muses in this deck. So there's some fiery energy here, and this is the Leo moon card. This is that energy. So what I'm feeling with this is there's this passion. There's a fire inside. Yeah, it really does feel directed at their desires, what they're creating in the world. Really, there's almost an impatience. I feel there's an impatience energy because it is this kind of volatile emotional energy from the moon of like, I'm ready for this now. What's happening? Like, I want to move forward. I want to move towards the desired outcome. And the desired outcome that's been showing up for the divine masculine is union, is reuniting with the divine feminine. It is coming forward. But in the heart space, getting these cards, we also have the Wheel of Fortune. So I'm actually going to ask, can you please clarify the Wheel of Fortune for us, Spirit? Anything else? Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Which is what I was feeling, and so I can confirm this energy is about the divine feminine, because we have the Queen of Swords and we have the Lovers that just came up as our clarifiers. So they want to get to here. This is so present in their heart space, because that's what we were asking about in the heart space right now. It's this is what's living, this is what's real for them right now. And this Queen of Swords energy is their fear. They're afraid to come forward, which we've been seeing a lot of this, honestly. They know that she's a no nonsense, no bullshit queen. They know that you are not going to let them off easy. They know they can't come forward towards you until they're correct, right? You're not going to accept the half-assed apology. You're not going to accept the half-assed energy. If they come forward and they are not fully embodied or fully integrated, and you've been doing all this work and you're like here, and then they come forward, that's not going to go over well. And they know that. So in a way, this Wheel of Fortune card, they're waiting for the divine timing. They're waiting for that last bit of the karmic purging to conclude. And it's painful and it's pissing them off, quite frankly. I feel actually with this card some anger. There's some frustration. They're like, why? I'm impatient. I'm trying to get here. Because the other card, and I don't want to confuse everybody, so I will go into the Lovers in a moment, but the other card that came up in the heart space is the Magician. So they're working really hard on manifesting this future, and I actually feel with this Magician, it's speaking to their 3D world, because that's really important to the divine masculine. It's very, very important that they can be solid, grounded, held by Mother Earth, and that their coin is on point, that their pentacles are there for them to support them. And so they're really manifesting, but they're almost in this, what I'm feeling with the combo of these cards is that they're really in this like attach mode, right, around it. So when we are talking about the void and that kind of like darkness, which is by the way, very feminine energy. It's much more natural for the feminine energy to embrace the darkness, to embrace death. We go through death. I mean, if you are a physical woman and embodied in a physical woman body, we go through death within our bodies every month. And then we go through the next bit of death transformation when we transition into menopause. So we're very familiar with death. We're very familiar with this quiet void energy. The masculine is not. It's very, very uncomfortable for them. And that's why we're getting this King of Wands, and then the Leo moon on top of it. It's like, I do. It's not that I do feel compassion for them, because it's not as natural for them. And they're really kind of, I think they always viewed the feminine as like, how do you do that? Like they originally thought we were a bit, for lack of a better word, crazy, or just like, how, that doesn't make sense. How do they kind of just ride these emotional waves? Like it was something they didn't feel like they could trust. It was very confusing. And now Spirit has been working with them with these tower moments where they're going through it. They have no choice but to learn how the feminine has been doing it. They're in a feminine initiation, and we've had our feminine initiations. To be a divine feminine, to have manifested our divine masculine into our lives, to have met in the physical, we went through that divine feminine initiation. Now we've been in our divine masculine initiation. If you are in separation, that is your initiation into balancing the masculine within you. not having a masculine to support you, to lean on, to do that for you. You have to balance that within. So we're mirroring each other in a different way. So the masculine is going through this feminine initiation to balance the feminine within them. And so they know that with you, she's almost the most masculine of all the queens, the Queen of Swords. So they know you've been working hard in the physical world. They can sense this. Their higher self knows that there's been a lot of work done, and you are not going to accept a half-assed presentation. Like if they come forward half-assed, they know what this connection is, whether they call it a twin flame or not. In their heart space, in their heart of hearts, they know you guys are meant for each other. And that actually gives them the confidence and the trust in holding back and doing this work and waiting before they come forward. 11:11 on the clock. Yeah. So it's giving them this pause. But it's not without the desire. The desire to come forward is there. So feminines, if you've been feeling frustrated, if you've been feeling like, what is taking so long? I can't even, just know that that's why. That's why. If you've been doing the work and you're a feminine who has, I always do this, still warm. If you're a feminine who has really opened this channel with spirit and the divine, and you are really in that trust and you are in that receiving, you are allowing things to leave you, you are just allowing, know that you have initiated your masculine in such a deep way. If you're still working through some of those things and you might still be in a resistance or clinging energy, you haven't fully completed that sort of masculine initiation, or you might be in more the beginning stages, your masculine might be a little more in the unconscious realm right now. But for those that really are in true separation and no contact and have been doing that work, your masculines are preparing for you so deeply. Trust that. They really are. And they're not going to come forward until they know they have something to give and they are correct. I come correct. That's the phrase that I keep hearing. So okay, so we checked in the heart space. I'd like to check into the 3D world with both counterparts. So divine feminine, please. We're not going to take that because that just fell out. So what's going on in the 3D for the divine feminine? Anything you can tell us? Quiet to the divine feminine. Okay, beautiful. Oh, there's a card hiding into there. Oh, beautiful. Okay, that'll be good. We'll take those 3. Oops. All right. Well, the 9 of Pentacles came up again, and that also came up for the heart space. So that's pretty, I love that in your heart space and your 3D, you're very aligned, feminines. You're very aligned. So in your 3D, you're really working on this future. You're really working on this fulfillment of your 3D. So getting your finances in order, doing your mission work, being in service. Oh, that's the missing piece for the feminine, by the way, in this period of separation. If you can really step into surrender, allowing, and then allowing that to move you into service. How do I pass the time? How do I take care of myself? I step into service. And I feel that that's what this 9 of Pentacles is speaking to in the 3D. You also have the 5 of Swords. And this has come up quite a bit for both counterparts, I believe. In some of the readings I've done just on my own that I haven't shared with you guys as well. But it's a lot of purging. It's a lot of letting go. It's really being ready to let this go, I feel. I'm hearing that we're not at the beginning phases of this 5 of Swords, but this moon, this full moon has triggered, it's like that wringing out if you have like a wet towel or washcloth, and it's like this, we've been in this process of just like wringing it out, and we're in this like last little bit of it. But the opportunity or the invitation that's available to us with this moon, because it's in Leo, is this can be a quick process. It doesn't have to be a heavy, long, let's get bogged down in it. The feminine is pretty good at this point with processing her emotions in a really efficient way. Not that you're bypassing by any means. You're feeling it. Feel it fully. But when you do get to this certain level and stage of presence to your emotions and working with them, you know how to let it pass through you. You don't attach to it. You don't get stuck in it. You just let it flow through your body. And this is what this Five of Swords is, because after the Five of Swords, we have the Six of Swords, and we move into this space of like moving away, putting this behind us. So we're really on the precipice of that with this. Sorry, my dog. He just coughed. And then we have the beautiful Two of Cups in our material world. I love that. In our 3D, we're really conscious. We're present to this connection. Union is, we're working towards it. We want it. We feel it. And union within ourselves as well. Union within the divine masculines and divine feminines within us. Divine feminine energy and divine masculine energy within us. Unifying. I feel that this is a really powerful moment in time for us. We're really conscious of this work. We've been doing it. And also I'm hearing it's like union with excuse me, someone's throat chakra. If anyone needs someone's throat chakra needs some balancing out there. But this union with within ourselves, and this union with others, it's communion. It's coming together. It's the Aquarius energy, this Aquarius moment we're moving into is really coming together in community collectively. And I really feel that the feminine is in that space consciously, and in her 3D, that's what she's working towards, and that's so beautiful. All right, let's check in with the masculine 3D. Okay, a bunch of cards just fell out. Ooh, wow. Okay, that's all I'm going to take, because that was a lot. I think I am going to take this one that fell out on the floor. Let's grab it. Yep. Okay. We're really mirroring each other, because the masculine has this Eight of Pentacles. So working in this 3D towards a solid foundation, towards mastery, towards being his fullest self. And I feel with this card for the masculine in the 3D, he's really aware, you guys, he's really, really aware of what it takes for him to be a full embodied masculine for you, but also for himself. Like, this is more important to him than it's ever been. And I can feel this energy like so deeply. Mastery is the word that keeps coming up. And you know, this is showing up for them in their careers, in their jobs, in their home environment. And they're just, it's like this lane, it's like this preparation. There's this beautiful principle with Tantra where it's like preparing for the beloved, getting yourself ready for your beloved. And that is, I think the masculine and the feminine are both in that. And it's like, okay, it's not in a lack, it's not in a scarcity or a fear of this isn't coming in, this isn't coming through, I'm really attached to when it happens. It's no, I'm going into inner mastery, I'm preparing my space, I'm preparing my body, like self-care, you know, just really like nurturing and mothering, there's that connection again, and just coming into this like really peaceful, balanced place of inner mastery, inner and outer mastery, because this is in the Pentacles, so this is in the 3D world as preparation for their divine counterpart, for your beloved. And then we also had I believe this was the second card that came out, the Two of Wands. And so this Two of Wands energy is seeing this road that they're traveling, that they're slowly going to step into, and this adventure, this destination, it waits, but they can't really see that far in front of them yet, right? So they see the path, they're noticing it. We also have this Ace of Cups. So I feel that it speaks to this new beginning, this reunion, this coming back together with you, Divine Feminine. And they see it. They see it. It's right here. It's so close. They're in this mastery energy. They're working on this. And they see it and they're like, I'm moving slowly, inching my way. But they can't quite see the full yet, right? They can't see everything. And the masculine likes to know, especially in the logical 3D, because this is our check-in with them on the 3D in their physical world. They like to know. So there is some discomfort with this energy. There is some, it's almost like this working in the physical world. It's like there's a part of them that feels like if they just keep working, if they just keep plugging away at it, if they just keep in this energy, that it'll all make sense. And then when it all makes sense, it'll all come together and this new beginning will be here. But I think that they're being, in this Divine Feminine initiation, they're being asked to trust that it's there without really being able to see it. Kind of like the collective Akashic record reading message I had at the beginning of this video, where we're being asked to trust something and to believe deeply and have this deep faith in something, even if we can't see it. Seeing is not believing. But there is excitement with this card. There's anticipation of what's to come. And this is such a deep heart emotional energy. So I do feel that the masculine is in their feels about you. They really are. They're really wanting this. They're cherishing this. And hello, we got this in the physical. We didn't get this in the heart space. So this isn't necessarily in the emotion or the subconscious. This is in their like conscious mind. And that's, I go back to saying that just really quickly, because I do feel like there's different paths within this collective. And I do feel, so if you are a feminine who has been in this deep faith and connection with the divine, and you have also been working your mission and working your light and just being in service to the collective in some way, then this is really where your divine masculine is at. And then an even more beautiful way, we had 1111 earlier in this reading, and this is like that, the 1111 in this card, and the Four of Wands. And I've been getting the Four of Wands a lot lately for the divine masculine. And again, this is in their conscious 3D world. So they see this future. They see this future. And the masculine is pretty traditional. So I am hearing marriage. I am hearing unification, unifying in this really beautiful way that we honor unity in our 3D world, and we honor it through this ceremony. And the masculine is really aware of this. This really a desire. I feel so much hope, and the emotion with this card is just very back to what was going on with the masculine in the heart space, was this the King of Wands really wanting to rush towards you, really wanting to rush in impatience, because this is the ultimate desire. This is the ultimate, I'm doing this work and I'm working so hard because this is real to me now. I can feel this. I can feel this with you. And it was really scary before, but I'm really grateful. I do feel this gratitude coming in with the twins too. There's pain, there's emotion, we're triggering each other. We're in this tenderness off of this full moon, but there's also this really beautiful appreciation and gratitude for the journey and for the other person and all the work that we've been doing, and all as far as we've been coming. It's like we're starting to see the benefits, because no matter what happens now in our lives, in our 3D lives, in our service-based work, in our careers, in our finances, our money, whatever happens to us, we're going to be okay because of the tools that we're cultivating and learning in this now moment, in this now present moment of the separation that we've both initiated each other into. I mean, these initiations are doozies. I'm sure many of you can recall going through those dark nights of the soul on your feminine journey, right? Having to let go of everything, just being in complete darkness and not knowing, and how painful that was. But then the other side of it, how powerful you felt stepping into this empress goddess energy of just, it's magical. So you would never take it back, because it's what allowed you to get to where you are now. It's not like oh, I take it back. You know, our ego will sometimes be like, yeah, I wish I could take it all back. I think some of us have definitely said that to our masculines. That's what I'm hearing. But all right, so I'm just going to do a couple cards for the union energy. So Spirit, where is our union energy? Oh, okay. Anything else you want to tell us? Oh, okay. Yep, that's perfect. Okay. So the first card that came out is Trust the Niggle. What is the niggle trying to tell you? And this card is usually that like gentle like elbow from Spirit being like, okay, you hear me, when are we gonna take the action? And depending on where you are at in your depending on if you're a divine feminine, if you're a divine masculine, and kind of your dynamic, let's say, I feel that for the divine feminines, this is almost speaking to the service-based work. This is speaking to the mission work. This is speaking to what you're being called to follow, what you're being called to do. Maybe it's moving locations. I'm hearing that it's moving for a few of you, for a few of the people, but also putting yourself out there in some way, sharing a message, using your voice. Maybe it's someone in your life needs some support and you've been holding back out of fear, but you actually have the tools available to help this person, to assist them. And it can be done from a place of love when you work with Spirit, when you work with your team. So I feel like that's the message strongly for that bit of the twin, and for the masculine as well. Like, they are getting messages from Spirit and from the divine on how to get out of the situation they've been in, how to move on from this tower moment, whatever their karmic situation was, how to move forward. They really are. So they need to trust that niggle. But I also am hearing so deeply with this for the divine masculines that they've been having this impulse to reach out, to come forward, to say something. And it's like the universe is being really gentle with them now, but they are going to be moving into a tower energy soon, because there has been procrastination, there has been avoidance on the part of the masculine. Yes, kind of what we were sharing earlier with they need to come correct with the Queen of Swords in order to unify with you with the Lovers. Yes, that's relevant, that's true. There is still work, especially with this this full moon. There is still things coming up, but at the same time, they're being kind of nudged. So I feel that that's the that's the messaging for that one. And then we have this Break the Chain, and this card is so appropriate for the full moon, right? So it's ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. So this beautiful gateway and portal, an opportunity that we have right now to really move into the 5D, to really move out of pain, out of story, out of childhood wounding, so that when we do come into union, we are not carrying any of that. When we do step into this new earth, which many of us have kind of been moving back and forth between, you know, we've been timeline jumping, but we're stepping into it free, clear, sovereign, abundant, and just not carrying any of that old stuff. Magical. And then, which is also very Leo, play. I love this card. She's like playing in a champagne glass. It's like a bubble bath, and she has like, looks like she has like shells on her on her breast, like a mermaid. Have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. So how can you How can you invoke the fun and the play in your day-to-day? How can you feel more joyful, you know, more in your inner child? And when we are doing a lot of this heavy purging, this breaking the chain, going through ancestral trauma, it's super important to invoke some joy and some play. And I feel that that's such a strong message for both, because both of us, you know, the masculine play doesn't always come super easy and super natural too. And so when you're deep in that like feminine, like initiation, like hard stuff, it's hard to feel play. Same thing for the feminine. When you're deep in your masculine and you're just really like get shit done type of energy, you can easily neglect and forget about play. Play really does come from that higher expression of the feminine, right? So both counterparts are being called to just move into that. And that also goes along with our earlier message from the Akashic records of communing with Gaia, communing with the mother, communing and feeling nurtured, feeling held, feeling, that was my stomach if you heard it, I'm gonna need to eat soon, feeling really held and supported. And when you feel that support, you feel like you can expand and you can step into joy and connection. Yeah. Okay, twin flames and starseeds alike, because I feel so many of these messages are really appropriate, even if you're on a soulmate journey. You know, I hope that they kind of connect with everyone. But thank you so much for being with me. If you liked this video, please like it. Please share it with your friends. I'm brand new here. I'm really trying to I'm working off of guidance, and I'm not a big social media person, but I really am just feeling called to kind of share these messages. So if they resonate, if you like what's happening here, please go ahead and share with others, like the video, and comment. If you have any questions or anything you want to say, I would love to hear from you guys. So yeah, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and I'll be back soon.